Good morning, all of you on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, all of the different platforms. My name is Marissa Friedman, and today I'm coming to you on behalf of the Encinitas Chamber of Commerce. So I know there's been so many questions about what a Chamber of Commerce is or isn't. Is it a government entity? Like, what's the purpose? Do I need a chamber if I'm already networking online? And we will answer all of those questions today. One of the things we love to do as a chamber is to connect and let people meet our members and our board members so they can truly understand kind of this collaborative partnership that we have with our advisors and mentors and people in the community. And there was no better person to have this initial preliminary kind of inaugural live stream with than David DaCosta. So I'm going to bring in David this morning, and we're just going to have a little conversation because I think it's so important. I see somebody watching. Good morning. I think it's really important to kind of let the members speak for themselves. So just give me 1 second as I bring in David. Let's see. Good morning, David. How are you?
Hi, Marissa. Thank you for being the guinea pig, I guess, huh?
Yeah, David is the guinea pig. And I knew that David would be up for it because David has just this incredible energy. And he's been so welcoming to me as I kind of have gotten to know people up here. So go ahead and tell people a little bit about you, David. I understand that you own DaCosta Properties. Tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Well, yes, I got licensed as a realtor in my second life, back in 2001, and been an avid realtor in the North County area. Prior to that, though, if you're looking for a little chamber history, a little tidbit is I joined the chamber about 17, 18 years ago when my wife and I had a local restaurant. And that was a kind of a entrepreneurial adventure for me. And that was great. That was the Jamrock 101 Caribbean Grill right on 101. So I had that for about 10 years. But yeah, today I'm a thriving realtor, I'm happy to say. Love North County area. Who wouldn't? And the market is alive and well. Inventory is low, but it's all about location, location, location. And that's why I like to practice right in Encinitas.
I mean, I don't think there's a better place in the city that you could be practicing real estate. I think one of the things that I've learned so much about in doing my research on David and most of the members here is that everyone's had kind of 1, 2, or 3 different lives. And I think that's what's really important when we talk about kind of a chamber of commerce and what that can bring to the table. Looks like we have some good mornings. David, you've got a shout out from Catherine Wickman Zacharias saying good morning to you.
And Catherine is also a longtime chamber member. Good to see you, Catherine.
I love Wick. She's amazing. Hey, Catherine. She says your restaurant was awesome. So this is obviously very interactive. People can comment and say hello as we're going through this process. But one of the things that I think is really important as we talk about your background, right? You went from being in a restaurant to kind of being in real estate. And obviously you focus kind of and helping people and understanding the market. What trends are you seeing in the market right now? I mean, obviously people are moving to San Diego in droves, right? So is there a ton of inventory on the market? Is there no inventory on the market? And what do you think your differentiator is? Because I know for me, I've noticed you're a relationship driven person, but you also know a ton of people. So you want to share any tidbits with any of our people that are watching? We've got a couple across the different platforms that are participating today.
Yeah, and if I might just back up a little bit, you said, a lot of us has 2 or 3 different transitions or careers in our lifetime. I am fast approaching the cat life. So I've had more than that. Like I'm working on probably number 8 or number 9, but I like the adventure. I like the change. And it all boils down to one thing. My career has been enjoying people and working with people, the different personalities. And that's what I love about the real estate. As far as the market is concerned, yes, inventory is still at an all-time low. And if I may offer this as a suggestion, a lot of people like to compare last year versus today and so on and so forth. And might I suggest that we don't look at it as just last year. 2020 was an anomaly of obviously the famous COVID scene. But if you're looking at statistics and numbers and want to know where markets are, I would say take an average of at least 3 or 4 years. And if you look at the 3-year average of what's been going on, then you can better see the proper and true trends that's happening, especially in the real estate market. And yes, inventory is way down. And the economists that I follow and the reports that I read and the friends that I talk to that are in the know say that that will probably be with us for at least another 6 months to a year and a half. Obviously, it's a kind of double tsunami where that you have interest rates still at an all-time low. And when we have bad news, interest rates drop further. When we have good news, interest rates inch up. So it's the reverse of the mindset out there.
For
So this
sure.
will continue.
Yeah, and I think for those of us, we got a couple direct messages. For those of you trying to connect with David, you will see the link right underneath me. That's how you can contact David. It's dacostaproperties.com. He is more than willing and able to answer your questions, and you can learn a lot from him. I'm going to switch gears really quick, though, because we talked about you being a chamber member for how many years was it?
Probably close to 18 years.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that we've tried to impress as we start kind of going into extensive social media and blogging and really doing outreach into the community as we embrace new members into the chamber. I think there's some misconceptions about what a chamber is and what a chamber isn't. And I know personally from being here in the office, we get calls all the time about city permitting and all of these different things. And I think it's really important to kind of look at the chamber as this kind of this conduit, like we're connecting people to resources. We're allowing people to kind of accelerate relationships and build relational equity. A chamber is not you join the chamber and start spamming every person in the chamber, right? So tell us like your experience in kind of evolving with your role here, because I know that you were on the board, but you obviously year one didn't start out on the board, but I'm sure you were actively involved in that relationship has changed over time, right? I'd love
Yeah,
to.
and the big misnomer and the differentiator when you join a chamber, it's not that, okay, I'm a member now, I can sit back, my business is going to 10x in the next 6 months, and life is good. No, quite the opposite. You join the chamber, and like you said, it is a conduit to the city, to the other businesses. If a chamber has 500 members, you are automatically enrolled in a sales force of 500 people. I mean, that's how strong a chamber can be. You're advocating, the chamber is advocating on your behalf to the betterment of your business and the business community as a whole.
Absolutely. And I think I've noticed patterns of behavior from different types of members. Kind of, some members join because they don't necessarily know what they want to do, but they need the plaque for their office, right? But I would say membership is a really kind of like an active thing, right? We do all of these events specifically for our members. We have our mixers, we have coffee mixers, we have lunch and learns where people can teach a concept or a skill. It is not a sales page, right? So they're teaching people different skills, but there are tons of ways to highlight a business. And obviously the spotlight is one, right? We're taking some time out to interview our members. You're going to reach more than 3,500 people when we do a live stream because we do share these out in our channels. But for you, kind of evolving into, were you on a committee before you joined the board, or did you
Yes, when you join a chamber, there's a set program there, and committees is where it's at, whether you're political minded or business minded or sales minded, or you want to get into the environmental issues of the city. There's a committee for everyone. And my advice is join the committee where your heart is, where your love is, and you can promote and you'll naturally thrive. But more importantly, the first year of your membership is what's important. Be that Energizer bunny, if you will. Attend all the meetings, do all the ambassador meetings, do all the moonlight mixers, as they're now called, and get to know people. And it's like being in politics. I'm sorry to say, you got to kiss babies and shake hands, right? So you got to get out there and be known, because all of a sudden you'll be the Energizer Bunny of the Year or the Rookie of the Year. The chamber will know you, and the city of Encinitas will know you. And when it's all said and done, that's what you want, the right kind of exposure for your business.
And I think that's what I really wanted to highlight today, is that being a member is a very active process, right? It's not just joining to be on a list and be a checkbox, right? And I think a lot of people, especially in my, I'm an elder millennial, right, David? So in my generation, right, as we start looking at elder millennials down to kind of Gen Z, they have this misconception that, oh, I'm just going to send a bunch of terrible emails to people on LinkedIn. I'm going to invite people for coffee. And I always kind of look at it like, if you wouldn't do it in person to someone at an event, then you certainly shouldn't do that online, right? How many bad messages have we gotten on LinkedIn where someone says, I want you to watch my ebook and I'd love to talk to you about bringing you on as a client. And you're like, you don't even know me. You don't know my business. You haven't taken a second to understand if I even need you. And I think we wouldn't go to one of the Moonlight Mixers and say, hi, I'm Marissa. I sell marketing services. It starts at $4,000 a month. Do you want to buy that, David? You'd look at me like I was crazy, right? You'd look at me like I was an insane person. So give me some tips. If someone joined the chamber today, what should they do? Should they sign up for the mixer? And obviously they should find you because you're my guinea pig today. But tell me,
Yes,
like,
they
yeah,
should talk to, the key people, sign up for the mixer, get to know the workings, and it's good old fashioned relationships. I mean, where are the influencers within the chamber community? Because I have an old adage, and I'm old. It says, it's a little hinge that opens a big door. Now,
yeah.
that's very profound. But what I mean by that is you don't have to meet hundreds and hundreds of people right off the bat, but seek out who the key people are within the community and ask for, hey, I need a good marketing person. Who's Marissa Friedman? Can you introduce me? How do I get to know her? And it can be that easy.
And I think that's one of the things that I've noticed about our chamber, not just our ambassadors and our board members, is everyone is so willing to help. When I first met Sherry Yardley, who is the current acting CEO of the chamber, one of the things that really showed me who she was and who her heart was is she was on the phone with business owners, letting them know of grants that were available, shuttered venue grants, PPP loan grants, connecting people to funding and resources for their business. And I think that human touch to a process that feels automated and very daunting is so important. But also, she is a huge connector, as I know you are a huge connector. And I really think it is kind of like you get what you give, right? If you get ahead by giving back, that's kind of the motto of how I look at joining and being a member of this chamber. And I know this chamber has been around for a very long time, right? We obviously, you are one of the more seasoned people that's been involved and you've seen the chamber grow. But I think the one constant that you've seen over the past 5, 10, 15 years is the willingness to connect members in the community to resources and providing some value. And in my generation, I feel like some of that has been lost a little bit because my generation doesn't like to talk to people. They want to automate every email. They want to disconnect the humanity out of the business process. And it shouldn't surprise anybody that in the last year, when people were having to do virtual meetings and this face to face, automation kind of went down because they realized it just wasn't working. People didn't want to be a number and a KPI. They wanted to be spoken with, not lectured to, right?
Well,
And
I appreciate what you're saying because I'm fortunate enough as an elder statesman, I've done both because owning the restaurant forced me to get out there, do all the social media. So I'm a strong advocate of that. But I don't think it's one or the other. I think it's both. A relationship is the strongest bond you can have. And even if I made a relationship with someone 10 years ago and nothing happens for 10 years and all of a sudden we reconnect, that bond is still there. And whatever it is we wanted to accomplish still happens
absolutely.
because of that relationship.
And I think no matter what changes, no matter how many different AI tools come out, no matter how many social media platforms, I mean, I think people think of 10 social media platforms, but there are more than 500, right? So I think no matter what platform comes out, nothing is going to replace like a really quick 10-minute chat, right? And for all the tools that we have, when I really need to talk to someone or they really need to talk to me, they don't text me, they just call me on the phone. Right. And even doing this, right? I asked my daughter, how do you talk to people on the phone? Like, show me the motion. She went like this. Right. And so just that kind of like that change, right? It tells us that even though we're changing and evolving, this face to face is super important and making sure that we talk to people in the community, right? Even marketing and digital media, David, this is an active sport, right? And I wanted to figure out how can I showcase the members and the people in the chamber that are making a difference, while also being able to talk about the value that we bring. So two things really quickly before we continue our chat. I did get a couple of direct messages, and so I want to acknowledge those people that have sent messages. Yes, you can join the chamber if you don't live in Encinitas. Obviously, we want you to come up and be a participant in the community. It's super easy to do. We have an incredible membership coordinator by the name of Linda Goldsmith. She is just like, she knows everything. She's an Encinitas resident. If you come to our website, this is our website, okay? Top left corner is going to tell you join today. You can join. All of the information is there for your business. Again, if you want to kind of get a sneak peek at what we're doing, you can see our mixers. You can see the next one. Lunch and learns, coffee edition, ribbon cuttings. One of the coolest things we do for our members that are new businesses, we do ribbon cuttings for them, and then our signature events. So we have State of the City.
Or I can make it real easy. Sorry to interrupt, but just pick up the phone and call Linda. She is amazing.
That is another way to do it. And again, see, it's perfect that you're here, because I think, we have two different audiences. And so all of the audiences can, like, hey, pick up the phone and ask a question. Guess what? A human answers. It's pretty exciting. And also you can go to the website. Got another exciting website for you. And that is the DaCosta Properties website, because a couple of you have asked, how do we get in touch with David? Well, it's really easy. You can call him. He does pick up his phone. I did call him this morning. At the same time, let me go ahead and throw up his website for him, because he was so gracious enough to be my guinea pig today, which I really appreciate, David. You're up for it, right? I asked a couple of people and he was the first one to jump, and I'm like, cool. Because I think it's different. It's a different format, right? Everyone's used to kind of Zoom. So here's David's website. He's got a ton of information. You can look up his listings. You can do searches. I'm sure that he can help you with anything that you need. And look at that. His phone number is right on the top of his website, guys. Right on the top. So make sure that you connect with David. And just kind of as we start to wind down this morning, David, when I was kind of trying to figure out amongst, the board members, and we were talking about kind of the younger kind of generation coming up in the chamber, I think it's really important to highlight that it's not about younger or older or boomer or any of the labels that we give ourselves. It's really just about, like, the chamber to me is connecting with people in a human way, is kind of taking out this automated approach to networking that's terrible, and really just bringing people together, right? And I think if you could leave anybody here, what has, kind of your membership in the chamber meant to you and your business? Like, I would love to hear that, because I think that's what people really want to know. Like, what does it mean to you? And I'd love to hear that.
Well, I think it's a lifelong relationships, like I said, because you've planted those seeds, and you don't have to see everybody every day or every week or every year, but you need things done, or you have a question, or you have an issue, or you just want to congratulate somebody on the birth of their grandchild or their baby, or whatever the case might be. It is that kind of family gathering where, again, the relationships do continue year after year after year. It's like, going to a mixer is like going into somebody's living room and just having a nice, warm fireside chat. It is that comfortable.
That's wonderful to hear.
Not everybody can do that. It takes time, but there are people there to assist you and guide you. It's not walking down a red carpet if you're scared of meeting people.
Yeah, there's not going to be any paparazzi. Well, maybe we do have.
Well, we can arrange that if you like that. Yeah.
If you want that, that could be an add-on to your chamber membership, right? We'll have to negotiate with Linda and Sherry on that. Well, guys, that's all the time we have this morning. I appreciate those of you that tuned in, commented, asked questions. Super great for us. We're going to sign off again. I have put the information on the chamber. David's information is out there. Connect with him, ask him questions. He's an awesome guy, and he's a leader in our community. Thanks so much, David. Thank you again for joining us this morning.
Marissa, thank you for who you are and what you do. Much appreciated.